Welcome to the next episode of the CAPB Podcast. I am delighted to welcome Clare Hearl, a AGC veteran, a British Army veteran, and the founder of the Crafty Black Dog. Welcome,
Hi
Clare.
guys. Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, good today, thank you.
Lovely job.
Chair. The chair is amazing.
It's excellent, isn't it?
Straight out of the Sans mess.
That was the intention behind it. Yes, make the shop look a bit authentic.
Yeah. So Matt mentioned there that AGC veteran.
Yes.
Can you just give us a kind of like a highlight of your military career?
Yeah, so I joined it 97. The only thing I could actually be was a military clerk because they still had the height restriction, and at only 4'10", yeah, that was my one and only choice. So AGC veteran, like you said. So I was attached to the light infantry, PGHQ, did a stint in the Falklands, and finished off at 264, now 18 Signal Regiment in Hereford.
Amazing. Well, what a place to finish, by the way.
I know, yeah, that's why I finished there, because they they wouldn't let me stay. AGC Manning wouldn't let me stay and cross post, even though there was a job there for me. So I was like, well, if you're not letting me stay, I'm leaving.
And when did you get out?
2007.
2007, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Mega. That's amazing. So you left in 2007, and now you're the owner, the founder of an incredible business. How did that come about? How did that come about, Clare?
Okay, so the Crafty Black Dog was founded in 2019. It was founded through my battle with PTSD and depression. So I was very, very poorly, and I did a stint at Combat Stress where I was very lucky to receive treatment. And whilst there, I discovered a love of art therapy, which I never even knew existed. And well, very, very, very long story short, when I came home, I just started dabbling with the bottles with the lights. And I thought, oh, I wonder if I could put military crests on. And yeah, here I am 5 years later in my shop.
Did you have you always been kind of like artistic?
Absolutely not, Paul.
I
still can't even draw stick man. So the fact that I run a arty business, it's just it still makes me chuckle to this day.
Clare, sort of two things. First of all, shout out Combat Stress, man. They are an incredible charity.
Combat Stress are amazing. Yeah, I've done a lot of work for them this year on the opposite side of things, of like promotional work, of how they have helped me.
I love the fact that your business is called the Crafty Black Dog, because black dogs can be the black dog can be referred to
depression,
like that.
Yes.
It's depression, yeah. And I honestly, Clare, I think it fascinates me. We speak to other people on the podcast and they were like, well, I was always into this thing. I was really good at it. I really enjoyed doing it. So then I went into this as a business. Whereas you're like, I learned a whole new skill that I wasn't aware of, and you've turned it into a business. And as I can see from the screen, you're in a shop. You're not doing this from the there's people. Look,
yeah.
That's an incredible journey. How did it go from coming back from Combat Stress and putting some crests on stuff, to where you are now? Yeah. Business is 5 years old.
Just 5 years old, October, yeah.
Happy birthday, Crafty Black Dog.
Yeah. Thank you.
And now you've got a shop. How did that progress? Or how did it go from doing some stuff in your house to being where you are now?
So yeah, obviously initially the business was being done from my little house, and it got to the point about 18 months ago where I was like, okay, this is really stressing me out now, because the amount of boxes that was constantly in my house, my bedroom was split into two. It was half bedroom, half workshop. And I couldn't get away from it. So that was having a bit of an effect on my mental health. And I found I couldn't work with other people as well. So like I had jobs at the beginning of the Crafty Black Dog. I was still working. and I just thought to myself, I need to make this bigger, because this needs to be my job, because I can't cope, and I couldn't cope with civilian jobs, really. I mean, twice I told employers I had PTSD, and twice it was used against me.
I think
So
I think it's misunderstood, isn't it? PTSD is misunderstood, and unless you've
massively,
served, unless you've deployed, I think we all know somebody, or a number of people who have suffered, and unfortunately, we also know people who have succumbed to the demons, and who have deployed in operations and come back, but then never really come back. And I think it's a shame that it isn't more recognised. I think with things like the Armed Forces Covenant, and some organisations sign up to that, and some champions in some organisations, they do it really well. But unfortunately, it's not everybody.
Yeah, and there's something I really want to talk about with the PTSD.
100%.
Okay, so like I said, just over 18 months ago now, I thought I need to just either go for it or just keep going as I am. So living in Plymouth, we're a big Navy town. I just said to my son one day, I said, right, Mum wants to find a workshop somewhere. Let's just go out and have a little drive around. And I knew the area I needed to be. And we found this place. It was an absolute dump. It was awful. It was awful. There was rotten carpets. It stank of weed. It was vile. So I employed veterans to do the refurb for me. My builder, she was a veteran, female veteran. My electrician was a veteran. Who else was there? Oh, I can't remember, guys. But whoever was involved was veterans. So it's amazing. Yeah.
How did you find them all as veterans? Just via the network, or did you just through people?
So the lady who did all my refurb, she had previously done my bathroom at home. So, and we've actually become really good friends now. And the electrician, again, I had used him before. And there is I think it's called the Veterans Builders page or something on Facebook. It's something like that. And you can just put looking for plumber in Southwest, looking for, and it's a really good platform.
I think it's one of the things that we find that if you're a veteran, right, you connect with veterans very, very easily.
Very easily.
It's like we come on the podcast, and the first 2 or 3 episodes of the podcast were people I knew, Paul knew, we knew them, we've deployed with them, they've got businesses. It was like a proof of concept. And then now it's grown a little bit. We've had people we've never met before, but within seconds we're chatting like, we're in the same team. It's a really nice place to be. And I certainly lean in where I can to veteran owned, wherever I can. Do you know what I mean? If there's a clothing, if someone's released a clothing range, I want a t-shirt. Do you know what I mean? I want to support them. I'd much rather do that than not. Do you know what I mean? Because veterans who are starting their own businesses, which is part of one of the things that fascinates us on the podcast, is veterans who, like you done, you take the risk. You have a job,
huge,
and you're doing a side hustle, but you take that and go, no, I'm going to do this, and this is going to be my job.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. And I think it's fascinating, and all the veterans who go into business should be massively applauded and proud of themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I still don't really understand or believe what goes on in my life every day. It's like, oh, you've got this business. It's getting bigger and bigger all the time, and it's like, oh, did I do that, or does somebody employ me? Type thing.
It was all you, Claire.
Somewhere in there, I know.
So, I guess we're coming up to your really busy time of year. One of your busy times of year, both with Remembrance, which is coming up, and also with Christmas. What have you taken from your military career, which was a long career, 10 years service, What have you taken from your career, or is there anything you've taken from your career which you use and has helped you in the development of your business?
I think the lingo, and having the knowledge of different cut badges. I mean, being AGC, you are more than
You move around.
you move around. Yeah, I mean, granted, I wasn't like attached to 1,000 different units, but like for example, the light infantry, I know the history behind them, and now I know that they're part of the rifles. Being in Plymouth in a navy town, I have another lady who does some website work for me. She was actually a Wren, so she's very good on the navy knowledge. Yeah, RAF has been a real learning curve. But no, apart from that, guys, I don't think I have transferred any skills whatsoever.
You think there were two separate things, two very separate things, going from being supporting the military and all the
Yeah,
military units you were with, going into business.
yeah,
With your business, so with regards to your research and stuff, do people approach you? I know I did for
yeah.
something quite bespoke.
Showing.
For something quite bespoke,
They're
merch,
nice.
which is CAPB.
That looks familiar. I've got
Yeah,
that as well.
What have you got on the back, Matt?
This is just my cut badge. I don't know if you noticed, but this is used to serve.
Apologies for everyone watching having to watch that. That's the cat badge we want right here. This is the one here.
God.
Just
so with regards to is the business mainly focused around you having a shop and saying, I know what's going to sell, Navy Town, I'll stick the Royal Navy on stuff and that'll sell most? Or is it people calling up, sending you emails going, Claire, I need to rush me up a decanter with a dog pooing on it, please?
Yep. Yeah, 100%. It's the custom work like yours you guys, for example, is getting more and more. I just did a big order for a remembrance dinner last week. They had 50 of the slate coasters like what you've got, with a Lest We Forget design on it. I'm getting more orders from like actual messes for customized placemats and coasters. Yeah, so it's definitely word of mouth is getting around. It's like with my Google, on my adverts, you get a breakdown of like key search words. And whereas it was always like, say, for example, Royal Marine mug or the Crafty Black Dog is actually now a term that is searched quite a lot.
Oh, that's
that
cool.
Must be amazing. That must be amazing.
Yeah, I only figured that out last week, and I got quite a bit of a buzz from that, if I must admit, guys.
It's that realization that, do you know what, this is paying off. This is actually this is actually people want this, and this is what you're doing. So that's amazing. Being able to.
I was quite chuffed
That's
with that.
quality.
With regards to the business, Claire, right? So at the moment, I imagine most of your custom comes from military and veterans.
Yes.
Have you branched into civil organisations, or is it like veterans who are now working in a different organisation saying,
yeah,
I know someone?
Yeah, it is, because so I do work for SAFA, but again, they're a military related charity, aren't they? I genuinely can't think where it's anybody's come to me just for a
non-military.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a couple of things from Babcock across the road, but again, Babcock, could almost class that as being part of the Navy, couldn't you? Sorry if that's not right, Babcock Navy people, but yeah.
Babcock do a lot of stuff with the military. They absolutely do.
Yeah.
Across all the services, really, aren't they?
Yeah. So no, Matt. Is the answer to your question? Nothing else.
I mean, it's working, and long may it continue. Do you get many walk-ins?
Absolutely.
You were just fancy popping in?
Get a few a week. I mean, it's not overly, not subscribed. No, not a lot.
Right, okay.
We'll just say, yeah, it's primarily an online
Right.
business. And when I was looking for the premises, I was looking for a workshop. And then I found this place, and because it's so big, the front of the shop is just like an added bonus.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I was asking, because when you said you drove around with your
Mm.
son and you're looking for a workshop, and hence you're in this. We got a tour earlier on. It is an incredibly big, brilliant like location.
It's yes, so you do. I mean, like, so for example, this chair, I do get people just come in, like older generation, and I'll be like, sit down, have a cup of tea. And I've actually had one guy came in, and through him coming into the shop, I'm now part of the Plymouth Argyle Communities Trust's veteran group. I absolutely love it. I go every Friday.
Do you go to any of the games?
You know, it's
Argyle, come on, Argyle.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Rooney.
Oh yeah, he's a manager, isn't he? Is he, or was he? Is he still the manager?
No, he still is. We won on Tuesday night, guys. Beat Portsmouth. Come on.
Yeah, the Battle of the Dockyards.
Yes, and we won.
Oh, amazing. Really, really amazing.
Yeah.
So with an online business, do you find did you have to learn all about like advertising? Did you have to learn about are you hammering like Facebook ads? Or is it just literally I'll join networks and my business will take care of itself?
Yeah, so I think 2 years ago now, I actually employed a company to run Google ads for me. And that, I will admit, totally turned the business around. It cost an absolute fortune, but it paid off in more ways than you can imagine. But I just do it myself now. I just, I learned from them. I learned what they do. And so I've been able to take the middleman out now, and I run my own Google ads. Facebook and Instagram, I occasionally boost a post. If I see a post that's had more interaction than normal, I might then boost it. And
like ours.
like yours. And yeah, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, like, for example, have you guys seen the post with all the Christmas baubles on?
Yes.
Yeah, so I boosted that. Oh my goodness. I've had to reorder blank baubles because the sale of baubles is just phenomenal.
I guess it's learning the field, isn't it? Learning what goes well and what doesn't go well. What I love, and I think it's a lesson to take away, is the fact that as your business progressed, you needed advertising, so you paid people to do that because you didn't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
That investment was well worth it to a point where you upskilled yourself to then not need them anymore. And I love that because I find sometimes, like, as the veteran community, is you don't want to admit that you don't know something. Do you know what I mean? But if you're a business and you're an e-commerce business where you're selling something, you're selling a product, it doesn't matter if your product is the single best product in the world. No one sees it. No one's going to buy it. So the fact that that's a really shrewd business move to invest in Google ads as well. Do you know what I mean? And then
I mean, it was a huge risk, guys. That was one of my first biggest decisions I made to expand. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a lot of money each month.
Was it toss of a coin,
right decision?
Or was it pros cons?
Oh no, it was just go on then, I'll deal. I'm very much like that.
Often the best decisions are made that way.
Yeah, I'm not a list person. I'm not a pros and cons person. I'm a shall I or shan't I? And then when I decide, it's got to be full steam ahead.
Oh, 100%. All in.
Hi.
Nothing
So
else.
I'm a DPD man's just walked
in. DPD man.
You did say. I want to ask about the creativity side of the business, right? And the things that you design and the things that you make. Obviously, you would have started somewhere, say on glass, and then when do you decide I want to try a new material?
Yeah.
And have you worked with something that you've gone, I get frustrated with it, or it doesn't really land well? Glass is great, you've got wood
Yep.
and other things. But what's your favourite material to work on? And
Oh,
because I noticed the bauble things, and I was like, how do you get a crest on a how? Like, so what's your
yeah.
favourite, and how do you go about doing it in the actual making of something?
I don't know if I can give my trade secrets away, Paul. That's
Oh,
the thing,
don't need
isn't
to do
it?
that. Just explain
I'm only
like
joking.
it's
I'm only
magic.
joking. Yeah, it magically
Shame I
appears.
eat.
Magic. Yeah.
So believe it or not, the glass is actually the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the hardest out of them all. Purely for the lining up and the process that you have to go through beforehand, before you even start. It's the printing, it's the cutting. So like so for example, you know, your decanter poi that you had. So the actual, we'll call it a picture, that has to be cut out beforehand.
Yeah.
And then obviously lined up and placed onto the glass, and then it goes through various different heat treatments. Whereas like for example a mug, I can generate the artwork on a computer and print it off, and it pretty much lines itself up straight away, and then it's just into a heat press.
Is that all done on site?
Everything is made here.
Yeah, that's amazing. It is, and I guess the amount of skills. Take away the craft part, which you did. You know, you learned to craft and found a passion for it, but the skill set involved: heat presses, all different types of IT software, all the different printing techniques.
I've had to teach myself everything, Matt. Everything from scratch. Everything that has been done in this business, I've had to learn as I go.
Do you enjoy that process?
Yeah, I love it. I get a buzz when I discover something new. I get such a buzz, and I'm like, oh, I can do this. Like the baubles was like,
The
oh
baubles
my
will be.
God,
I'm telling you now,
these are so
the
easy.
baubles will be like, I can really see it. I can see them as I can see a bauble in a gift box.
Yeah,
is what I can see.
yeah, they come
in a gift box,
boxes,
and I can see them just flying off for all veterans, the military community, messes.
They are.
I can see them in mess. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Messes at Christmas time and things like that. Yeah,
you heard it here. You heard it here
Yeah.
first. Well, you didn't. We're just jumping on Claire's idea, but coffee and poo bag baubles.
Oh, okay.
Crafty Black Dog.
Touche.
Hey, what you like with really, really thin,
Can you print onto an
ridiculously
actual poo bag?
plastic?
No, guys, no.
Never say never, Claire.
Never say
No,
never.
that is very true. That's very true.
Okay, so in the interest of time, we are a micro podcast. We try and keep a micro podcast. Wayne often tells us off for recording too long, and he has to edit it down. But I guess I have two questions. The first one is, well, there's two questions. The two questions are, why should people come and use your services at the Crafty Black Dog? And the second question, if you want to tie it in, is what's next? What's the future look like for the Crafty Black Dog?
Yep. Okay, so why people should use Crafty Black Dog is because it's unique. Every order is made to order. So, like, your friend might have a parachute regiment glass, and then his friend might have the one, but the chances of them being identical, like this, the badge being the same height, the same width, it's not. Unless I'm actually making a pair, then two glasses probably will never be the same. Also, I'm a veteran, so I mean, veterans buying from veterans is a no-brainer, isn't it? And then lastly, also, I am officially MOD licensed, so you get so many people out there that aren't licensed and just use the military insignia willy-nilly, and so because I'm licensed, that means 8.5% of my sales every single year goes back to military charities.
It was one of the things. It's one of the things I was thinking about asking, right? But I thought, just in case, because I know there is an issue. We've had a previous guest on here who's had potential issues with licensing and branding. Yeah. So, but and all is good now. But it's it was a question I was going to ask. But yeah, that's really interesting that you give 8.5% every year to military charities. Do you get to choose a military charity?
Yeah. No, so I just pay back to the
Yeah.
MOD, and then obviously they distribute it. I mean, you know, I don't know how to say it without sounding like a prat, really, but you know, my bill this year was £5,000. So to me, that's like how many people? Because I get trolled, guys. I get trolled online. People go, "Oh, 8.5% of every sale. That's not very much, is it?" But how many people give £5,000 of their wages every year to charity?
Two things. Trolls need to get in the bin. That's the first thing. Second thing is if you're making enough profit to give £5,000 a year into charity, then Crafty Black Dog's not doing too bad.
Exactly, it's
and you should be applauded for that. And I guess the final part is what's next? What's next? Yeah.
What's next? It's getting my name out there, guys. That's what I want. Is so my online sales, I am so happy with. I couldn't be happier. Is what I'm after is getting my name out there to messes, you know, PRI shops, because there is just so much more out there for this business.
Love that, and we shall share it. We shall share Foreign Wine
to the nth degree on all platforms that we have. So,
thank you.
Is there a key message that you'd like to set out as part of what you do within business to the not just to our veteran community, which is vast, but to anyone that's listening?
Yeah. So if you are currently suffering from depression or have suffered from depression, don't ever give up. Don't give up. You know, my business was born from a really, really dark period in my life. Accept help. You know, I've met people like, oh, that's not going to help me. That's not going to help. You don't know until you try. You honestly don't know until you try. You know, medication. Oh, medication's not going to help. Again, you don't know until you try. So just don't give up. Keep fighting. I think that's you know, that is the message from the Black Dog, is keep going, keep battling. And some days are hard. I still have some very dodgy days. I will never deny that. But I come in here, and because art therapy is my job, don't get wrong, I understand I'm very privileged to be in this position. But yeah, I could come in at 9 o'clock, like going home, have 3 o'clock. I'm fine.
9 till 3?
Jesus. Oh. Any jobs going?
School run.
That's a decent.
Any jobs going at the Crafty Black Dog? A bit of a commute from Gloucestershire to Plymouth, but
even a bigger commute from Snowdonia to bloody Plymouth, to be fair.
Joking aside, Claire, that's a really powerful message, and for what it's worth, you're very much part of the Coffee and Poo Bag community now. You're in, mate, and once you're in, you can't get out. Soz.
Sorry.
But also, you should be really proud of what you've achieved, because from a really dark place, like you said, suffering from PTSD, which still I don't think we know enough about PTSD. We've had a previous.
No, it's sorry, Matt. Can I just jump on one there with regards to the PTSD? I still think too many people associate it with soldiers that were on the front line. You know, I've had people say to me, "How could you possibly have PTSD? You never went on the front line." That is something I personally want to change people's perspective of. PTSD can be from anything, anything, and it doesn't necessarily just have to be soldiers. It can be anybody in life. So I'm really passionate at the moment with changing people's perception on what PTSD is. And girls can get it too.
They can. Yeah, they can. We've had a previous guest on the podcast, Shelley Bradley Scoley, and she's a mental health nurse, and she's got a her story is fascinating. If you haven't heard that episode, listen to that episode and reach out to Shelley. She's incredible. She has an amazing view and take on things. You know, she's she's ex-Navy actually, incredible human. But I think you're right. I think it's a really difficult subject. I mean, it's in the name. It's post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not post-war disorder. You know, so anything that's caused any type of trauma, any type of something that can trigger it. But I think if we focus back on you a second, coming from that place to learning a new skill, the whole journey actually, you know, there's an argument that would say, you know, without being in that dark place that you were in, you would never have created this business. You'd have never have learned the skills. You'd have never have met the people. You'd never been able to help so many people. You've been going 5 years. You give 8.5% to charity every year. You are impacting people every single day, Claire. And I think that's something that you should never forget, ever. Because I mean, for us, it's an honor to have all of the business owners come on the podcast. And 100%. Your story is special. You know, your story is special because we knew nothing about you, nothing other than your social media. We loved your stuff. You know, I put an order in, and the quality and the standard of what we got, and you know, was incredible. Which is why I said to Paul, it was for his birthday. I said we have to get her on. We have to get Claire on. She's a veteran. Look at this. You know, and now listening to your story, from where you were to where you are now is phenomenal, Claire, and
where you're going to go as well.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, as soon as you start making
with all my veteran friends' help,
as soon as you start printing stuff on poo bags, do you know what I mean?
Dog leads, coffee.
Oh, I've got dog leads, Paul. Yeah, Paul, you need to go on the website and have a look. There is dog leads.
Matt, Merry Christmas.
Eric and Piper, we're getting coffee and poo bag dog leads Christmas. Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Bert and Ernie, you're getting the same.
Yeah. There you go.
We've done. Oh, what have we done today? Done Wrens, Grenadier Guards, and HMS Swiftsure. I think has gone out today on the dog leads.
Love it. Very talented. Claire, listen, we will keep you no longer. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
No, thank you guys for having me on. I've really enjoyed this. I was so nervous, but thank you.
Well, there's nothing to be nervous about. We are literally making it up as we go along.
Love it.
Take care, Claire. We'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, guys.